We throw around the word expert all the time, but what does it really take to be at the top of your game in a super competitive field? Well, today we're going to deconstruct that idea. We're going to look at a case study of a top-tier real estate professional to see if we can piece together a kind of universal blueprint for what expertise actually looks like.
So, what is it really? Is it just about putting in the years, having a wall full of fancy certifications, or is it something more? We're going to follow the argument in our source article and see how it answers this very question using the world of high-end property sales as our backdrop.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll set the scene and look at the market itself. Then, we'll meet the pro at the center of this story. After that, we'll unpack her strategy, check out the proof, and finally, put all the pieces together to map out this anatomy of an expert.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the environment. Because, to really understand what makes an expert stand out, you've got to appreciate the high-stakes world they're operating in.
Our story kicks off in Carmel, Indiana, and the source makes it super clear this is not just any old suburb. It's consistently ranked as one of the best places to live in the entire country, which tells you right away the market there is both incredibly desirable and fiercely competitive.
And here's where the rubber meets the road: the money. The article points to a median home price hovering around $650,000. That one number says it all, doesn't it? This is a high-value playground where real expertise isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute must. And look, this isn't just a fluke or a one-time spike. The data from the source shows this steady upward climb, especially in that luxury bracket. We're talking about properties that start at over $750,000. This market is definitely on the move. The article even zooms in on the epicenters of this luxury scene, neighborhoods like Bridgewater, Village of WestClay, and Laurelwood. These aren't just names on a map. They are the battlegrounds where the competition is the most intense, full of custom estates and exclusive perks. So that's the landscape. Now let's zoom in on the professional who actually thrives in it, the person the article holds up as a genuine expert.
The source introduces us to Cara Conde. She's positioned right at the center of it all, the go-to advisor for those high-end buyers and sellers trying to make sense of this really complex Carmel market.
So, what's her secret sauce? The article points to this really powerful combination. You've got 2 decades of experience, which is a lot, but it's not just time on the job. It's backed up by very specific certifications in luxury marketing and negotiation. Plus, she's been an investor herself. All that together creates this profile of deep, specialized knowledge.
The source also highlights a very specific skill: her ability to find off-market listings. Think of these as the hidden gems, right? The properties that never even make it to public websites. Being able to get clients into these exclusive homes is framed as a massive advantage, something that really sets her apart.
Okay, so market knowledge and credentials are one thing, but how does that expertise actually translate into action day to day? Well, that brings us to the strategy, her specific toolkit of services.
The article breaks her service model down into these 2 distinct but equally detailed playbooks. For buyers, it's all about access and being a bulldog in negotiations. For sellers, it's about presentation and smart marketing to get the best possible price. This side-by-side really shows it's a tailored strategy, not a one-size-fits-all deal. The source argues that her whole approach rests on these 4 pillars. And notice the blend here. You have the modern stuff, like digital marketing and tech, but it's combined with these timeless, high-touch elements like insider knowledge and that discreet, white-glove service. It's a hybrid model that's perfect for today's luxury client.
But hey, anybody can make these kinds of claims, right?
This is where the article brings in the evidence, using one of the most powerful tools out there, social proof. This first piece of feedback from a client directly backs up those claims we just saw. The client mentions she was well-informed with comps, that's industry speak for comparable properties, and that she negotiated strong offers. That ties directly back to those expert credentials we looked at earlier. And just listen to the words in this next one: attentive, professional, and relentless. Wow. Those words paint a very clear picture of a pure work ethic and serious commitment. The argument here is that it's not just about what she knows, but how relentlessly she puts it to work for her clients. This quote really nails that white glove service pillar, answering calls at all hours. That speaks directly to being totally responsive and client-obsessed. The article uses this to show that for a true expert, the clock doesn't just stop at 5 p.m.
All right, let's put all these pieces together. We've seen the market, the professional, the toolkit, and the proof.
Now let's synthesize all of it and build out that complete picture of the expert profile.
This slide really gets to the heart of the article's whole argument. It sets up this direct comparison. On one side, you have a general agent. On the other, the luxury specialist. And the key differences, according to the source, are that exclusive access, those personalized strategies, and certified master-level skills.
So if we were to boil this whole article down to a simple formula, this is it. It's this killer combination of exclusive access, mastery of the craft, and super personalized service, all of which leads to the final ingredient, proven results, backed up by happy clients. And that brings us to the core takeaway. Being an expert isn't about just one thing. What this case study really argues is that it's a powerful trifecta: deep market knowledge, highly specialized skills, and a track record that's been verified by the only people who really matter, the clients. So, we'll leave you with this question to chew on. We've just broken down the anatomy of an expert in the world of real estate. But what about your field? Take a second and try to apply this framework. What are the 3 essential qualities that truly define the absolute best in your professional world?